There, I think we're live.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Can you hear us this time from our larger table?
And I'm going to check. I'm going into the group right now.
Tammy's here. She keeps her phone on because she's checking your comments.
Yay!
Hi.
Let me turn the volume off, though.
There we go.
Oh, shit. Sugar. Oh, jeepers.
Good morning to you all. We
Oh
hope that you're
my
having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us here on our second episode of The Circle Live. Yay! Today I have Heather. Tracy is joining us.
Great to be here.
And Tammy. Lynn is in Florida.
So there's Lynn. She's
there's
hey.
Oh, we can see the
Good
comments
morning.
from here.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
amazing.
awesome.
It's closer.
Miss you for coffee this morning.
Yes, we did.
And we are very excited about our subject. As you can see, we have our royal fascinator here. Just because we were talking a little bit about breaking the rules in life, and after last week's wedding, that was a phenomenal occasion. We really,
good.
right? So good.
Yeah.
We all received a lot of feedback with regards to show ideas and breaking rules, and how Miss Meghan Markle has basically broken every single one of them, and just how we do that, how the vision growing up of being a princess is what a lot of little girls have, and to see it realized with a divorced biracial woman now in the monarchy is incredible. American woman nonetheless.
Yes. An actress.
Yeah, absolutely is
so
amazing.
Good morning, Darla.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, good morning.
Melody,
We were
Darla.
Oh my
Thanks for
goodness
joining
gracious.
us.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. And we were just talking a little bit about breaking those rules and how important it is to challenge things and not to do what we're told to do what you feel is right. Even though someone says this is not stereotypically what you should be doing, or this path doesn't involve you, it's not for them to say. It's for you to say. And just speaking a little bit to my friend here, when I first met Tracy, I was super impressed with her path and how she had gone from what was a phenomenal career in the corporate world and basically broke all the rules. So go ahead, Tracy, tell us your story. We love it.
Much to my poor mother's chagrin and mother's chagrin, who had raised me to get a good job and continue on the path until I could safely retire, the big nest egg. Yeah, it's exactly right. You know, for me, when I was in that corporate role, it really wasn't fulfilling. And when you get to that point where you realize, I'm not where I need to be, regardless of the fact that every other message around me was, you should go for the next promotion, you should be looking at going international, or whatever my next step was supposed to be at Amex. And no disrespect to American Express, they're a fabulous company and I had a wonderful career there. But for me, it was, that can't be my next step. I meant to do something else. I meant to do something different. And I just had such a huge passion for horses. I thought, why not turn my career into horses? And
I mean, that's a sensible.
Right?
Yeah, right.
I
love horses.
So it seems so obvious to me.
Ties in perfectly with what I've been doing.
I can't believe
American
it. People don't train every day with horses. So my decision to do that, of course, faced a lot of scrutiny and some challenges to that. And not many people said it to my face, but I appreciate you were out there thinking I was crazy. It's totally fine. And I think it's just really important to really follow your heart. You know, I'm sure when Meghan started dating Harry, many people were saying, oh, you can't be a princess. They're never going to accept you in the royal family and all those great things. Well, too bad. This is my path, and that's the path I'm on. And people told me, you know, you're never going to be able to make a living doing this. My accountant said, if you want to make money in horses, if you want to make $1 million working with horses, start with 2. And he's not completely wrong. It does take a while to ramp that up. They are expensive they're expensive employees to have. But, you know, when you have that vision and you start to realize what the possibilities are, and I just believed so wholeheartedly in how much I had learned from my horses, that it just was such an obvious path to me. And whatever was said about it, I didn't care. I'm like, no, this is happening. I'm going to do this. And that was the path I was on. And I admire Meghan for obviously, you know, keeping those blinders on and saying, no, you know what? Like, I love this guy and this is the life I should have. Yeah. And why not, right? I think we've all gone through times in our lives where people are like, what is she doing now? My mother more times than she can count. But
For sure.
like to keep
for
them on their
sure.
toes. But yeah, you've got to sort of know your heart, and life's meant to be lived.
It's sometimes hard though to get past the judgment.
Oh, for
The
sure.
Right?
judgment, yes.
Yeah, you
100%.
definitely go through a mental roller coaster ride, and because we all take everything so personal. I mean, I think that's just human nature
It
for
is,
anybody.
it is, yeah.
So having to
Yeah.
fight against that, to know that no, what I am doing is truly what I want to do, right? I want this. So I have to get past those naysayers and just go for it. And you know what? If it doesn't work, well, then that's my responsibility to accept that it didn't work, right? Not for someone else to say, told you so, right? So
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, for me, it was interesting because when I look back, I think the first time I really broke any rules was when I was graduating from high school.
Okay.
Yeah, all my friends were going off to college and university, and I had no desire, none. I was like, no, I'm going out to work. I'm getting a job. I'm going to make lots of money. And when I was 21, I got into a very, very large company, like massive company. And I took the next 13 years and did 13 different jobs there because I used it as my education.
Yeah.
I said,
Awesome.
I'm at a company that opens up doors,
And you're getting paid,
right?
and
And I
it's
was
free.
getting paid. And they even actually did send me back to night school. I did do a business certificate. However, I said, I've got a huge opportunity here and I'm going to embrace it. And yeah, I held 13 jobs and then I just quit. I said, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And I quit. Done. I walked away from court. I just said, that's it. I'm done. And that was a shock. Like that was just, for people who knew me growing up would never have thought I'd want to be a stay-at-home mom. And, those were pretty amazing years, to be able to do that with my kids. But I realized as I was working that I was really missing them. Hats off to my mom. She's probably watching. She was raising my kids for me.
Oh, bless my mom.
Yeah. And she's still raising kids. The woman hasn't stopped, which is pretty amazing. But I realized that, I was missing out on so much with my kids. So I made the decision just to walk away. And what's cool is it was at that company that I learned software. I came to work one day and my typewriter was gone and there was a computer and with a book, and I was told to figure it out because that's what I was working on. And now, look, I teach at Seneca College. I teach software.
Ourselves?
We are aging ourselves. We are, because I was like,
I was the first girl to
30
get
years
email
ago.
in my office too. I was.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool because I broke the rule and not going off to, university or college and just took a different path, and I don't regret it at all.
But I think that's the point, right? When you say what you learned there and how that's influenced what you do now, I certainly would be not where I am with my business if I did not have the 20 years behind me of leadership development and business acumen. Like those are just roads we had to take, right? And it all leads you where you're meant to be.
Yeah. And you never know if this is even the final step.
Right.
Right?
Oh,
we have no
that's the
idea.
exciting part.
Yeah.
Like, what crazy stuff can I do now? I
That's
say, well, look at us
Yeah.
here now. I'm like, oh boy, it spins off everywhere. Doesn't it? You never know. You see, I think that's why I like that girl Megan so much. I watched that and I was just like, she's us. She's
Yeah.
you. She's you. She could be any of us. And she has taken her path. I mean, watching, because I was a single mom for many years, watching her mom sit there too with her nose ring and the pride. And I'm just like, wow, I can't even believe I'm watching this. How incredible is this? And then, of course, it ties into things in our own life where people are like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that. Or you can't do that. Well, says who? Who says that exactly? Right? I mean, I'm sure there are so many things where people are like, oh, well, I really shouldn't be doing that. But it's really up to you. It's it's Lynn's word, grit. That's her favorite
Well,
word.
and she also says,
I'm also a fan. Oh, do we have some comments?
well, from Lynn, and I don't know what it means. She said, love the table with a whole
Oh,
bunch of.
larger table, we
larger
promise.
Then she wrote total in capital letters, FOMO,
Fear of missing
going
out.
on over here.
Total
Oh,
FOMO.
fear of missing
Fear of
out.
missing
Oh,
out.
we
We miss
you're
you.
right here, Lynn.
You're here with us.
I have to say, speaking of everything we were talking about with, following your heart, my story was a little bit different growing up. I was kind of surrounded by, many girls in high school. who everybody wanted to go to university. Everyone, it was like, you know, just the natural path, you know. You finish high school, you apply to universities, you go to universities, you bang out 4 years, and you get this fabulous job. Lo and behold, you're, you know, kind of in debt as well, but you know, won. And deep down in my heart, I always wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be that stay-at-home mom. You know, I always dreamt about, you know, having kids and being present in their lives. But I didn't listen to my heart. I listened to everybody else around me, and I applied to university, and those 4 years of my life were terrible. I forced myself to, you know, sit in those lecture halls and constantly feel so much stress and so much anxiety because of what others thought I should do with my life rather than really
And you know
following
what? It's
my heart.
unfortunate that they don't. It's unfortunate that women are that way with women, where if
Yeah.
you want to be a mom, be a mom.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's the best job ever. I mean, right?
Well, I mean, it's taken me.
But if you don't want to be it, don't be it. If you don't want to get married, don't get married. If you don't require a husband or a child or anything to be successful, right? And I think that's the message. And with this young woman, you know what? She's divorced. She had a husband. It didn't work out for whatever
That's
reason.
right. Yeah.
It didn't stop any of her dreams. It didn't stop her life, right? And you wanted to be a mom. I mean, I had a different situation. I wanted to go to university. I didn't have the opportunity to do so.
Yep.
So I went to school for real estate much later in life with
Yeah.
my children
Yeah.
in tow, which
Yeah.
is a lot of fun. But not really. But that's amazing. And when you were in university, I mean, after you were done, you broke that, right?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say right away. I went into a corporate job where I was working at a corporate office in Burlington, and I was responsible for, Burlington's great, for going around and opening up new restaurant locations for this specific company. And I was instrumental in getting them, you know, running and off the ground, and people trained systems, and then off I went. But looking back, like I'm never happy. Always, you know, tired and you know, upset and stressed, and it's because I wasn't doing what my heart, you know, had told me to do all along. But it's also this like I was always almost fearful of being like, you know, because I'd be in a setting with so many other people that are like, oh, well, I'm in teacher's college now, or I'm, you know, doing this, and it's all this success talk. And, you know, being in circles like that, I was kind of like, oh my God, I don't want to just say I just really want to quit my job and be a mom. Like, because, you know, they're going to look at me like, what? Because there's stigma surrounding almost everything.
Oh, it's crazy.
But especially with that, you know, where it's like, oh, well, you're what do they got, trophy wife, or, you know, you're not contributing to your family income, and your husband's doing all the work. Well, I mean, to all you moms out there who are stay-at-home moms, it's a flippin' hard job.
No kidding.
But if you're in a true partnership, then you've agreed that that's your role.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and there's nothing, it's just society is saying that the man has to be the one earning the income. Yeah. Whereas many times when I was on my own, I was like, wow, I need a wife. Right? Because I was like, I was doing the role of stereotypically the husband, right? I said, and it is hard because no matter what, you're getting judged, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing.
Oh,
we're
I see.
Always going to be judged.
Oh, no matter what, right?
Right.
2 comments here. Michelle Mahart. Good morning. Love
Good
this
morning.
discussion. It really resonates with me.
Oh, that's so great.
And
Michelle.
Darla, pretty amazing how when you decide to live your own life instead of what someone else wants for you, how much happier you can be.
Isn't it?
That's
You can
incredible?
make. Yeah.
Darla said that.
Absolutely.
And it's true, right? And I think, you know, because I'm seeing a lot of the names that are commenting here, and a lot of you guys is, Darla, being a mom is a piece of cake, Heather. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, right? I'm seeing a lot of the people that are watching here, a lot of you guys are entrepreneurs and small business owners, and I can probably guess about 90% of you were told that you couldn't do it. You were told that you're wasting your time to get a real job.
I got told that many
Yeah, that
times.
real in
I was gonna
quotations,
say,
right?
Exactly.
Like, what's real?
Yeah. And
What's
it's
success?
interesting because, you know, I know that people judge me for what I do in the sense that, well, how can she be really making any money? You know, she sits and posts on Facebook. She lives on Facebook. I've had people comment how much time I spend on Facebook. Just so you know, guys, I
It's
do
her
really
business.
well with my business. Thank you.
Well,
I
I, on
mean-
the other hand, have no excuse.
That's why you gotta hire people like me. No.
That's how we all became friends, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
It's true, yeah.
We're like, hey,
But the reality is that we're always criticized. We're always put down. You know, we're always told you can't do it.
but it's so
You
exciting
know?
when you do.
Oh, I
It's
know.
so
and
exciting.
it's
I
like,
was gonna say, I
Drop
was
it.
working a few part-time jobs. I was working at the Brick while I was in school for real estate, while I was raising my kids. And I had many people that were like, you should just stay home. You should stay with your kids. What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. And I was like, real estate was the only thing that I could think of where you could earn 6 figures a year without a degree. That was the only
Oh,
thing. That's why,
interesting.
I was like, okay. And here we
now
are.
look at you.
Now we're doing it
Yeah,
right?
right.
And but again, people are like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, and who's going to hire you? And you just have to turn around and say, well, you know what? You have a vision. I always say you can have a vision that no one sees but you, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and now my big thing too was I had a friend. I think we all may know him, who passed away, and in his room. In his office, in his office, he had a picture of him and his wife in Venice in a gondola. And I was like, I'm going to do that one day. In the beginning, I thought it was a dream. And then he was like, yeah, you're going to do that one day. And then I was like,
He was
and I
great for
started
that.
believing
Yeah,
it.
he was,
I said,
yeah.
and now I have that same picture in the gondola in Venice. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and it shouldn't have been the path, right? It just wasn't the path that I was taking. My mom was a single mom. My grandma was a single mom. I said, and all of a sudden I ended up in the same type of shoes. And I was like, this is not the path. The path that I'm on is not the path that I want. I'm going over here.
Yeah.
Right? I said, and like with Megan, I think that's why it resonates so much with me. I said, is that I'm looking at this girl and I'm like, good on you. Like, absolutely good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
You know, I said, and especially I think at this age, I would say with age brings wisdom. And I'm just at the point where I'm like, you know what? Love and positivity to all. If you
Yeah.
don't like it, turn the other way. Don't
Yeah.
say anything. You know, just be happy and yes.
Based on the people that you know and where they're at with business,
Mhm.
how many of them do you think didn't realize this till later in life? Because if
Oh,
we all look at our
vast
ages,
majority.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna
right?
say,
We
I
all
was
went the
about-
standard
about
paths,
majority.
or did what was
Sure.
expected,
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, I'm 50. I didn't start my Facebook business, launch that till 6 years ago,
Yeah.
right? So realizing what you want and truly what you're driven towards, most probably don't realize that until they're in their 40s.
Yeah, and I think for
That-
some
yeah.
of us, it changed over time, right? Like
Yeah.
when I came out,
It definitely evolves.
when I came out of school, I just wanted to make money and get a career and climb the corporate ladder. Working Girl was my favorite movie. You know, I was going to
Yeah,
yeah.
New York. I thought that was my dream, truthfully. And I loved horses as a kid, but I wasn't involved with them at all. So that never factored into my life at all. And then even after I came out of MBA, same thing. It was climb the ladder, make money, get to that vision of that glass office overlooking New York, which I did eventually experience because I worked for New York. I didn't actually live there. But that's okay. And then you know, it takes that to get there and go,
Oh, but maybe I don't
that
want it.
wasn't quite what I
Right.
thought.
Yeah.
This is quite
Right.
amazing,
Yeah.
but that's not it. It's not it. Shoot, you know, I did all this and it's not quite it. So,
Yeah.
but again, we wouldn't get where we are without that.
No, it's all part of our experience, our learning, our growing, and really figuring out what it is that we want to do. You know, we all have dreams when we're little, but ultimately, I don't think we really truly figure things out until we've experienced life.
Absolutely. So what do you ladies think? Like, to sum it up, I mean, what's the message? Basically, you know,
The message is just live
Follow
and
your
let live.
heart.
Follow
Yeah,
your heart.
go
Do
with
what
your gut.
you feel you need to do. And if people are
monetize your
judging you,
passions.
monetize your
Yeah, and
That's
listen.
cool. I like that.
Like if you really listen to the things that are being
Monster
presented to you and the opportunities that are being presented to you and the things that are coming up for you, listen. Because yes,
Yeah.
your answers are there
Absolutely.
too. They're here, but they're also, the world is taking you, the universe is taking you in the path you should be on. And there's sometimes we just don't listen. And I just like to leave a thought because it sounds like we've all sat up here and had these, you know, I'm just going to buck the system.
No.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
hunt,
Yeah.
we,
No.
you know, we just
No.
we didn't care what anybody said.
No.
No.
So I can tell you personally, whatever was said behind my back or to my face about my ability to do this was only half as bad as what I said to myself. So that might be a topic for another call.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we'll wrap it up today,
Yeah.
ladies.
Thanks
I
for
think that's
that.
a
But you know
wonderful
what? That is
topic.
good.
I said because I
that's
think
what
we
should
beat
do.
ourselves up more.
Yeah, I would like
than
to do
other
that on the
people.
next show.
Our
It's
limiting
fantastic.
beliefs about ourselves.
Right. How do we overcome our own
It's-
voice? Never
yeah.
mind
I say, well,
everybody
we have
else.
so many
Love that.
people chiming in there.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Jenny.
So yeah, Jenny's got some
Jenny.
questions for you. So you'll have to get on there, Louise, and give her some advice on that.
I say, well, you know what? Why don't you guys add in there whatever comments you'd like, whatever topics you'd like, and we will see you again in 2 weeks, Monday morning, 11 a.m. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thanks for joining
Thanks,
us.
guys. Oh,
Thank you.
cheers.
Cheers. And cheers to you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Have a great week.
And have
Here
a
I come to
Happy-
sign off. Bye, everybody. And I'm still signing off. Bye, everybody.